Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and if you are wondering why I am wearing a Buffalo Bills Buffalo Wings t-shirt, well, that is because of the wheel that we had in last week's live stream whenever we were watching the game. If you don't know what the wheel is, hey, tune into this week's game reaction live stream to understand what the wheel is and why it makes me wear opposing teams' merchandise. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a game that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have coming up this Sunday, and it is a pretty big game against the Houston Texans. Why is this a big deal? Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are currently 3-4. They are third in the NFC South according to Pro Football Reference. Now, granted, they're only one game behind the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints, so, it's not like it is the absolute end of the world, but this is possibly the biggest game the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had so far this year to this point, because there's a lot riding on this. I'm going to tell you what, 4-4 looks a whole heck of a lot better than 3-5, and if we take a look at who the other teams that the NFC South, or I guess I should say teams contending for the top of the NFC South, sorry, Carolina Panthers versus the Indianapolis Colts, but you take a look, the New Orleans Saints are playing the Chicago Bears without Justin Fields. The Atlanta Falcons are playing the Minnesota Vikings without Kirk Cousins, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing a pretty game Houston Texans team. Now, we're going to be talking more about this matchup as we go on later in the week, but in this video today, I wanted to stress the importance of the matchup this Sunday that the Buccaneers have. Like, again, point blank simple as this: 3-4 right now. You're third in the NFC South. You're still competing for a wild card spot, right? Like duh, right? We're only 7 games or 8 games into the year, but like obviously you want to win the division. That's probably the best route that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have in terms of getting back to the playoffs, and it's been a rough go for the Bucs the past month, basically, of October. Started off the month great, a win against the New Orleans Saints to put them at a 3-1 record. After that, 3 straight losses. Not just that, but the defense, the defense is playing winning football. You allow 24, 20, and 16. You could win all of those games. 6, 13, 18 from the offense. 37 combined points in 3 games? Yuck. Not good. You're averaging just a little over 12 points a game. Not good, man. Not good. So, 1, the Buccaneers are definitely on a down skid right now, losing 3 in a row. A very winnable game against the Falcons. 2, not necessarily winnable games against the Lions and Bills. Those were some tough games. This one hurts the most against the Falcons. That's one that the Buccaneers definitely could have and should have won. But now, you definitely have a unique situation here. You've got the Texans, you've got the Titans, a couple of rookie quarterbacks in C.J. Stroud and in Will Levis who are going to be competing. These are games you've got to win, starting with this Houston Texans game. If you don't win this game here on November 5th, might be an even tougher sled. Then you're looking at a lot of different things, right? And I know some people may, scoff at this notion. Trust me, I get it. But like at that point, do you bench Baker Mayfield, who isn't playing terrible, right? 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I think Baker's been doing very fine, all things considered. I think that Baker has shown some really good things. But, if the Buccaneers lose another game and aren't able to put up more points, what do you do now in that type of situation, right? You're 3-5. You've got to find an answer if you want to try and get back into this NFC South race. Do you make a lot of different types of changes? Do you maybe try and mix up the run game by bringing in a different running back? Do you try something else with the wide receivers that you have besides Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Do you try some different stuff on the defensive side of things? Because to be fair, like the pass rush hasn't necessarily been all that great this year in terms of guys being able to get consistent pressure throughout this year. So like there's a lot of different things. I mean, obviously, could they move, D. Delaney into that safety role and maybe, change out a guy from Ryan Neal. Like there's a lot of different things that could come out of a 3-5 record in terms of changes being made to try and, essentially, for lack of a better way of putting it, save the season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that may come off as dramatic to some people and say, oh, James, hush. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. But, I mean, that's a legitimate thing, man. 3-5, you've got 2 guys who are at the top of your division right now in Atlanta and New Orleans, who've got very favorable matchups. Let's say, for example, they go to 5-4 each and you drop to 3-5. You're 2 games back now. Yes, you did beat the Saints, but Atlanta already beat you. And, yes, you could split with them. You could sweep New Orleans. That's possible. You shouldn't bet on that. You shouldn't, say that's a guarantee. So, it just wouldn't be a good thing, even if one of these teams, right? I'd say worst case scenario, Atlanta goes 5-4, Bucs drop to 3-5, New Orleans drops to 4-5, right? Like, that's worst case scenario. Well, an even worse case scenario is they both go to 5-4, Bucs drop to 3-5. A not good scenario is what I just recommended. A fine scenario is Atlanta, New Orleans lose, Bucs win, right? So like any way you slice it, the Bucs should win this game just to stay competitive in the NFC South and just continue to put their best foot forward in terms of winning the division, which in my opinion is their best way to get into the playoffs this upcoming postseason. But yeah, I just wanted to stress the importance of this game, kind of talk about some things that could potentially change if the Buccaneers don't win this game, and really just highlight the importance of this game versus the Houston Texans. In my opinion, it's a must-win game. Point blank, simple as that. It's a must-win game. They've got to put their best foot forward against a Texans team that's been, pretty decent throughout the past couple of weeks. Again, we'll dive into it more throughout the preview, but, they've definitely been like win-win. They've won, 3 out of their last 5. Again, big game for the Bucs. We'll see if they step up to the occasion or if they fall and maybe some changes are made at that point. But folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.